Hey everybody out there, it's Duke of Cards, the Esper family channel. We are at the beginning of the 70s, but at the end of my PC of the cards that I have going back prior to 1973 in my last video from 74 cards. So it's going to be kind of a quick one, but it's going to be a little bit all over the map because it's just what I have prior to 1973, and it's just a little bit of history of baseball and some other cool stuff. So here we go. Here's what some I have in the binder left of my common cards, and I'll see if I can just show these to you. This is 1973 Topps cards. Trying to get that glare off of there. That's a little better. And there's 1972 in action cards. So 1972, there's Boog Powell. There's Lou Aparicio, Hall of Famer. Earl Williams, rookie card. Rennie Stennett. Bob Watson. And some 70 and 71. Maury Wills, he could steal some bases. There's Earl Weaver, Hall of Famer. Chris Short, Davey Johnson, Sal Bando, 68. There's Jim Palmer on there. Ed Roebuck, Jim Busby, I believe that's 57. And Ed Roebuck goes back into the 50s. And we got something here I picked up. This is obviously not real. It's a $1 million bill, obviously fake. But I was at a meeting one time, and Bob Turley, who played for the Yankees, he was a pitcher, and that's his signature right there. He was handing these out. Obviously, he signed them while he was there, and it's kind of old because it's starting to fade. On the bill, it's got 1988. So on the back here, I got something I got from my house. We went to Walt Disney World in 1980, and that was our ticket to get into the Golf Resort Hotel. Pretty cool. All right, trying to work our way back chronologically here. This is a Zips disc from Zips. Reggie Jackson. This is official National League ball I picked up somewhere. Charles Feeney, Spalding, which I believe puts it into the 70s, could be early 80s when he was he served as president. Working our way back here, 1970. These are super cards. Super baseball cards from 1970. There's Lou Aparicio, Hall of Famer. Check out these cards. They're really cool, and they're huge. I really like the look of them. There's Pops, Willie Stargell. Harmon Killebrew, another Hall of Famer. Ron Santo, another Hall of Famer. Salbando, which I believe they call this a short print, or because it was a #2 card. And Joe Horlin. Enrico Petrocelli. And those were the 1970 Super cards. And I picked this up. This is picked this up at Goodwill of all places. It's an official baseball card game from 1970, and it's got cards with it, which is pretty cool. These are the game pieces. And there's the cards. It came with 28 cards from that year. And these are all the different cards you got to pop out or a single. But these were the cards that came with it. They're about 3 inches, 3.5 by 2 or 2 1/4, something like that. There's Harmon Killebrew. Jim Fregosi. This is what it looks like on the back. There's Tom Seaver. Phil Niekro. Lou Brock. Bill Freehan. Juan Marshall. Reggie Jackson. Looking a little angry right there. Roberto Clemente. Sam McDowell. Ernie Banks. Willie McCovey. Mel Stottlemyre. Charlie Hustle Pete. Tommy Davis. Tom Haller. Tony Taylor. Played for the Phillies for a while. There's Ron Santo again. Keeps popping up. There's Hammer and Hank. And a young looking Rod Carew. And there's Rico Petrocelli again. Boog Pal. Dennis Menke. Frank Howard. Mickey Lolich. Say Hey Kid, Willie. Frank Robinson. And Don Minchner. So that came with the game, which was pretty cool. I picked it up at Goodwill. All right, let's move it on. So this is from my great-grandfather, William Matt, who I was named after, and my father was named after. This is, he lived up in Lakemont in Altoona, and he ran for county treasurer, and this was a card I guess you could hand out to try and get support. I just wrote on the back where it was he worked. He worked at the Logan Valley Trolley Company, which eventually came to be, I believe, the SEPTA, or not SEPTA, but the state. It eventually turned into what they run the state transportation. So he ran for county treasurer. It's got Republican rules on there. September 17th, 1919. So that's him there. And that's him right there. And that's for the Logan Valley Trolley Company baseball team. And that's my great-grandfather right there. And that is my grandfather right there, Gordon. And that is an original picture from 1924. So moving on, this is a T202 Hassan triple fold with John McGraw on the left there. That's him right there. John McGraw played with my great uncle on the team he played for, which was the Baltimore Orioles, which is really hard to see up there, but we'll get there in a minute. Anyway, this guy on the right, J.T. Myers, was a Native American. He wasn't the first Native American to play baseball, but he was the catcher for Christy Mathewson, which was pretty cool. They used to call him the Chief. So again, he was the catcher for Christy Mathewson, which was pretty cool. All right, so let's bring you to our two cards that we have from my great uncle Duke Esper, who I don't know if you know from other videos, but my great uncle, he did play for the Baltimore Orioles. He played ball from 1890 to 1898. And he had a couple cards. These have been handed down through our family generation. And this is a cabinet card. And I've put this somewhere around the turn of the century, the 1900s. And it is embossed at the bottom by Fowler Company, which back then you went to a photographer, you went to a studio where this was a negative, or not this, but you got a negative and they could get pictures from it. So I looked up this Fowler studio. They were out of Philadelphia at that time from 1889 to 1925. They were on North A Street, started by Benjamin Fowler. And the reason why I believe that he lived in Philly at the time, at the turn of the century, he lived on Mutter Street. I found a Census Bureau, and I have that. But this is what's super cool, is this card we have is another cabinet card, but it's from earlier. And this was made up for the team of the Baltimore Orioles. And he was a pitcher from 1894 and 1895 and 96. And he was a major proponent in helping them win the pennants all three of those years. And in 1896, they won the Temple Cup. So this is by Perkins. And his name was Charlie Duke Esper, hence the name Duke of Cards. And it was made by Perkins. So my research has taken me to cabinet card photographers. There is a Perkins card, just like the one we have. And there it is. They were at 311 Baltimore Street. Harry Perkins photographer from 1889 to 1897. And our card is cut off at the bottom because it's supposed to look like that. And it has 311 Baltimore Street, East Baltimore Street on the bottom. But that is the Perkins logo right there. So I pegged this card to be somewhere from 1894 to 1895. And here's another research that I came up with. This is from Frank Leslie's Illustrated Newspaper. And I looked this up online. I pulled this off the internet. And it's the whole team for the Baltimore Orioles. So there you have all those Hall of Famers on there. And there is my great uncle right there, Duke Esper. And it's the same photo that they used. And the underlying caption, it says, "The The Baltimore team league champions for 1894-95. Photographs by Perkins. There you go. So we've pretty much pegged this card. I believe it to be one of one. I don't know if there would be another one out there. Who knows? But this was handed down in our family. And we have it in our possession. It's pretty cool. And these were the other players. A lot of Hall of Famers on there. And in the middle there, that's the Temple Cup. The Temple Cup is in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And that's 1896 when they won. And also, just another reference, this is the only, well, there's two cards that I've seen. This is one that's popped up on Heritage Auctions, and it's similar to our card. It's, this went for sale a few years ago, I think 2017 or 18. Anyway, this sold on Heritage Auctions. Says very rare 1890s Perkins Kid Gleason cabinet photo. And that sold for $900 back then. And I believe it's up for sale again on Heritage Auctions. And there, believe it or not, when I was looking in the research, and I found another Duke Esper card. It's a Duke Esper cabinet photo by C.M. Bell, photographer. I don't have that card though. But that's pretty cool. And that kind of shows you some of the stuff that I have left. There's Pete Rose and Dave Concepcion. And I'll bring you guys over to here, if the light will show some of the cool stuff I got left over here that I don't think I've shown you guys. It's kind of hard not to get the glare. Where's the light? Alright, so there's Eddie Murray, Nolan Ryan, Steve Lefty Carlton, Bob Gibson, Pete Rose. There's a 75. Roger Maris, Frank Robinson. There's Thurman Munson. There's a Robin Yount. Oh, the glare. Robin Yount rookie card. There's Tony Gwynn rookie card. Ted Williams, Ken Griffey Jr. Roberto Clemente 72. There's Eddie Matthews. Willie Mays' last card, I believe. And there's Frank Robinson. And there's a cool Cal Ripken. Alright guys, that's what we have for today. And we'll finish up the video with this new cabinet that I just got that I'm going to start filling up some cool stuff with. And we'll finish up with Duke 1896. Not an original photo, but it shows all the Baltimore Oriole team. And there's my great uncle right there. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in future videos.